that we're not here. All right. If you have not gotten your your rice pillow, sorry, your needle threaded or knotted, or you're in the middle of it, just put it down for now. You're okay. All right. So again, I wanted to go over once more how to do the measuring and the cutting for your rice pillow. Okay. So this is the fabric I chose. All right. It's a little interesting. A little different. So for the rice pillow, the size needs to be 2 8 by 4 inch rectangles. All right. So keep in mind, you do not need to use the same fabric. You can use 2 different pieces of fabric, something different. But both of them need to be 8 inches by 4 inches. So 8 inches long, 8 inches wide, 4 inches long. When you are measuring, all right, you want to make sure that your fabric, you guys can see that, correct? Okay. I want to make sure that everybody's able to see. So again, when you are measuring, guys, you want to make sure that your measuring tape is nice and flat, so your fabric is nice and flat. And when you start your measurements, again, you guys want to make sure that you're starting from the little metal bracket. All right, give me a second. All right, we're just going over the pillow measurement. Okay, so, I'll wait for you guys. Oh yeah. Alrighty guys, so thank you ladies. Alright, so again, when you guys are measuring, alright, you want to make sure you're starting from the metal bracket. From the metal bracket to the 1 is 1 inch. Alright, you do not want to start at 1 and go to 8, because then you're cutting yourself short by 1 whole inch. Alright, so for the sake of the demo, guys, I'm using a pen so you guys can be able to see, but you guys need to use the pencils that are in your boxes. So I am measuring 8 inches. I'm making sure that my fabric is nice and flat. My tape is nice and flat. I'm using both of my hands to make sure that they stay, flat and straight. So I'm just gonna start measuring. So from the little metal bracket to the number 8, okay? You guys can see those, they're right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make a line so I know where the top of my fabric is. Again, using both of my hands to keep the tape straight, or you guys can also grab a ruler. Once you have those little lines and you want to make sure that your fabric stays straight and your lines are straight, you can use a ruler, a flat ruler, to create that flat line. Okay, and it keeps your fabric nice and straight. My lines are a little close, but that's okay, because those are going to be my 2 pieces of fabric that I'm going to cut out. So again, it's 8 inches long, and then, wide, I'm sorry guys. And then again, using that little middle bracket, and then I'm going to go down to 4 inches. All right, do the same over here. I'm using that top line that I first drew. That's where I'm lining up that middle bracket. Okay, and again, using my hand to keep my tape and my fabric straight and nice and flat. So when I go back and create those lines with my ruler, they line up nicely, and then I just create my line. Okay, so it makes it a little bit faster. And if you do have a nice piece of fabric that has not been cut and you have nice straight edges, use those edges to your advantage. If, let's say you're trying to measure out and this is a bigger piece of fabric, do not measure out from the middle, because you're going to be measuring out 4 sides versus you could be starting over here on this side, and those straight edges are going to help you. Okay, so make sure we are utilizing our fabric correctly. We are not cutting from the center. We are not leaving weird shapes. All right, because we want to make sure that if somebody else sees that fabric and they want to use it, there's enough space for them to create their rectangle their rectangle shape. Alrighty guys, so once I have everything measured out, I have both of my rectangles measured out, I'm going to cut them. I had started this one yesterday. You want to make sure that you're cutting, try and cut as straight as possible. Alright. Now because this is my demo, part of the fabric has some like logo on it. I'm not going to be using this one. I actually have another one that I'm making, but it's the same fabric. Just want to show you guys how sharp these scissors really are, so just make sure. I know I keep repeating myself, but I rather repeat myself than you guys forget. Make sure that you're only using this scissors on fabric. I do want to point out that on one of the boxes we found a pencil with like some carvings on it. So let's not do those type of things with our materials, guys, because it's going to damage the scissors, it's going to break our pencils, and it is going to affect the other class, because remember, you guys share these boxes with another class. So let's be mindful. Let's make sure that we are using our tools the way they are intended to be used. Alrighty. And again, I'm going to keep repeating myself when it comes to that, just so you guys don't forget. You know, we're being mindful. So when you guys are gonna sew your pillow, okay, again, I'm not gonna use this one. This is just for demo purposes. You wanna make sure that you are lining them up, you're facing them pattern to pattern, okay, because that way you're sewing on the inside of the pillow, okay? Once you have your two pieces cut out, you're gonna create a line where you're gonna start your stitches. I'm gonna freehand mine, but you guys can use the flat rulers. And I'm gonna start it here in the center, and I'm just gonna go around and create a line. Again, I'm freehanding mine. You guys can use a ruler. The reason for this is because I wanna make sure I know where I'm starting my stitches, guys. So I purposely left this blank. Okay, because that's where your overcast stitch is going to go. That's where you're going to close your rice pillow. That is where you're going to put in your rice with a little paper funnel. So you're going to start here, okay? And I'm even making an arrow because this is signaling, okay, I'm stitching this way. All right? So again, I'm leaving one small little empty space, because that's where I'm filling in. That is where my overcast stitch is gonna go, where your closing stitch. So where you start, okay, you're gonna go this way, and then you're gonna end on this stitch. Do not start at your corners, because then your rice pillow is not gonna close correctly, and your rice is gonna fall out. And one of the requirements is that nothing falls out, okay? Once that is drawn out, I need to pin my fabric together. When you pin your fabric together, you're not poking straight down. One, it's unstable, and two, you will poke yourself because it's a needle literally going through the fabric, and that's dangerous. I don't want you guys to hurt yourself. So when you're pinning, you're putting in once, kind of like how you guys store your needles in that packet. Same motion. You want to have your needle sideways. It keeps your fabric nice and stable, and you want to make sure the needles are all pointing in the same direction, because you avoid poking yourself. Okay, alrighty guys, with that being said, I will come around and see who needs more help with your practice stitches, and after that, if you guys are ready for your rice pillow, I will help you out with that as well. All right.